Roles and working methods of tourist guides. For the benefits of promoting tourism in a particular local area or community, if the committee notifies a tourist guide to work in the specified area, another tourist guide cannot work therein. When a person submits an application for a tourist guide license, the registrar must check the completion of documents and proper conducts of the applicant in accordance with the rules and methods specified by the regulation. If it is found that the documents or evidence are insufficient, the applicant must be informed immediately. If it is found that the applicant for a tourist guide license is qualified and has no forbidden characteristics, the license must be issued to that person within 30 days of receiving the application for the license. If it is found that the applicant for a tourist guide license has forbidden characteristics, the applicant must be informed in writing within 30 days of receiving the application for the license. In case the registrar refuses to issue a tourist guide license, the applicant may appeal in writing to the committee within 30 days of the notification from the registrar. The committee shall make a decision within 30 days of receiving the appeal. The decision of the committee is final. A tourist guide license is valid for 5 years from the date of issue and can be extended according to the rules and methods specified in the regulation. Page 101. Working methods of tourist guides. 1. Conduct the duties according to the specified standards. 2. Dress appropriately. 3. Keep manners in accordance with Thai traditions and cultures. 4. Behave in accordance with the rules of tourist guides. 5. Have a health checkup as specified by the rules. 6. Attach the ID tag at all times while on duty as a tourist guide. 7. Tourist guides are not allowed to pay money or give benefits to tour operating business entrepreneurs or other people, or to be responsible for expenses in part or in whole in order to take tourists on tours. 8. Conduct the duties according to tour programs as agreed with the tour operating business entrepreneurs, and cannot do anything to cause damage to tourists. 9. Tour guides are not allowed to have another person without a tourist guide license working as their substitutes. A tourist guide license is terminated when a tourist guide 1. Is dead. 2. Whose tourist guide license is not extended. 3. Whose tourist guide license is withdrawn. The registrar has the authority to suspend a tourist guide license for no more than 6 months at a time in case where 1. A tourist guide does not act in accordance with the rules specified by the committee. 2. A tourist guide has no qualifications and pays money or gives benefits to tour operating business entrepreneurs or other people, or is responsible for expenses in order to take tourists on tours. 3. A tourist guide does not act in accordance with the orders of the registrar or an officer who issues a suspension. The tourist guide cannot conduct business as a tourist guide unless allowed by the registrar on a case-by-case basis in order to prevent damage to tourists or the tour operating business. Withdrawal of tourist guide license. The registrar has the authority to withdraw a tourist guide license in case where 1. A tourist guide lacks qualifications or has forbidden characteristics as specified. 2. A tourist guide has been suspended of a tourist guide license, and within the year of the suspension there is a case which may result in another suspension of the license, whether by the same cause or not. 3. A tourist guide violates the act and causes serious damage to tourists or the tour operating business. The guide has been warned and suspended or has been asked to solve the problem but has not done so. 4. A tourist guide is mentally impaired. 5. A tourist guide has received a final judgment regarding an offense of trade or theft, robbery, fraud to debtor, or embezzlement, according to the criminal law, or guilty of public fraud according to the law on loaning money, which is a public fraud. Punishment. 1. A person who acts as a tourist guide without a license or is in pending of the suspension shall be imprisoned for no more than 1 year or fined no more than 100,000 baht or both. 2. A person who lets another person work as a substitute shall be fined no more than 5,000 baht. 3. A person who does not act in accordance with the rules specified by the committee or does not attach a tourist guide ID tag shall be fined no more than 10,000 baht. 4. A person who pays money or gives benefits to a tour operating business entrepreneur in order to take tourists on tours or allows another person without a tourist guide license to act as a substitute of the tourist guide shall be imprisoned for no more than 6 months or fined no more than 50,000 baht, or both. 5. A person who obstructs or does not facilitate the registrar or an officer assigned in writing by the registrar shall be imprisoned for no more than 6 months or fined no more than 50,000 baht, or both. 6. All offenses under the Tourism Business and Guide Act 2008 are punishable by fine only, or imprisonment for no more than 1 month, regardless of the amount of the punishment. The registrar has authority to make a comparison according to the rules specified by the committee. 7. A person who does not act in accordance with the specified rules shall be fined no more than 60,000 baht. 8. A person who violates a registrar's order forbidding conduct as a tourist guide shall be imprisoned for no more than 1 month or fined no more than 20,000 baht, or both. Fee rates. 1. A tour operating business license is 3,000 baht per license. 2. A tourist guide license is 1,500 baht per license. 3. A substitution of tour operating business license is 1,000 baht per copy. 4. A substitution of tourist guide license is 500 baht per copy. 5. The tour operating business fee is 1,500 baht for every 2 years. 6. An extension of tourist guide license is 1,000. Ethics of tourist guides. 1. Honestly upholding the nation, religion, and the king. 2. Believing in democracy. 3. Believing in their own religion and making no disparage to other religions. 4. Being responsible, working with self-sacrifice, and with regard to the best interests of tourists. Neglect of duty is unacceptable. 5. Keeping up the tourist guide's reputation by working honestly and not seeking unlawful benefits, or acting against the pride and prestige of the tourist guide vocation. 6. Having a good attitude towards self-development, improving qualifications, virtues, and skills of the tourist guide vocation. 7. Being an example in sustainably preserving natural and cultural tourism resources. 8. Acting in accordance with the rules, local traditions, and the law. 9. Behaving politely towards colleagues in the tourism industry. 10. Not telling false stories which may lead to the disgrace of the nation, religions, and the king, as well as the country's image. Art of speeches for tourist guides. Tourist guides need good skills in their own languages and other languages so that they can fluently and correctly communicate with tourists. Therefore, in applying for a tourist guide position, factors that need to be considered are as follows. 1. An applicant has previously done tourist guide work and has the ability to work on a standard level. 2. An applicant has graduated from overseas in any areas and has great skills in language such as speaking, writing, reading, and listening. 3. An applicant has passed training courses which are coordinated by the Tourism Authority of Thailand and related institutions. 4. An applicant has graduated from a private or public university with a degree in tourism. 5. An applicant has the ability to speak, listen, and understand foreign languages. 6. The personality of a tourist guide is a factor that is also considered. Making friends with tourists. A tourist guide must have the ability to make a good impression and make friends with tourists so that they can feel amiable. It can be done as follows. 1. Knowing how to get to know people and carrying their favors. 2. Always smiling no matter how difficult the situation is. 3. Helping tourists with kindness and generosity. 4. Being concerned about other people. 5. Being polite, not aggressive and arrogant. 6. Paying attention to tourists. 7. Having a good memory and remembering as many tourist names as possible. 8. Placing an equal importance on all tourists. 9. Being a good speaker and listener. Art of speech for tour operating. A tourist guide must use his or her speaking skills efficiently and appropriately in the limited time. A tourist guide must always be ready to explain to tourists in a situation which is unexpected or has different demands. 1. For good speaking skills, a tourist guide must act as follows. 1.1. Using a clear and friendly tone of voice. 1.2. Using appropriate styles and pace by speaking neither too slowly nor too quickly, giving tourists a chance to speak or ask questions. 1.3. Being aware of the time, place, occasion, and types of audience, and using appropriate speech and manner. 1.4. Using a style of speaking which stimulates tourists to listen and gain information, and guidelines so that the tour can run smoothly. 1.5. Tourist guides should use proper language. They should think before they speak so that it is easier to understand. 1.6. Being careful on the words used, intonation, meaning, as well as observing when to speak, how to speak, and what to speak about. 1.7. Always observing listeners to see how much they understand and always adjust the speaking to go along with the interests of listeners. 1.8. Avoiding the use of ambiguous, coarse language and innuendos. 1.9. Speaking with an appropriate tone and stressing on important points, such as departure time and mealtime. 1.10. Using a style of storytelling that will make people want to follow up. Knowing how to amuse tourists. Page 112. 2. Styles of speaking which should not be used by tourist guides are as follows. 2.1. Careless speech such as, I guarantee that we will see a full sunset today. 2.2. Careless conclusion such as, you can read the information of tourist attractions at each spot inside. 2.3. Blaming others such as, sorry the bus was delayed in picking me up, so I'm picking you up late. 2.4. Speaking in contradiction or with uncertainty. Tourist guides should only say things that they know with certainty. 2.5. Speaking in a way so that tourists feel pitiful in order to get something. However, it is fine to ask for forgiveness when a mistake is made. 2.6. Making up something unimportant and beyond the scope of the work of a tourist guide. 2.7. Speaking insensitively on personal beliefs or being partial. If it cannot be avoided, a tourist guide should try to stay impartial. 2.8. Speaking sarcastically. A tourist guide should have patience and good control of temper. 2.9. A tourist guide will lose credit for irresponsible speech. 2.10. Speaking with no respect. A tourist guide must always be aware that he or she provides services. 3. Cautions and advice on how to speak. 3.1. A tourist guide should not talk about serious matters. 3.2. A tourist guide should give the team or tourists a chance to speak. 3.3. A tourist guide should not argue at the beginning of a conversation. 3.4. A tourist guide should not quickly change the subject. 3.5. A tourist guide should not be just a listener in a conversation. 3.6. A tourist guide should be careful of the direction of a conversation. 3.7. A tourist guide should not insist on unreasonable ideas. 3.8. A tourist guide should not talk down on other people.